What's up, Yoon-Fam? It is I,
Mark Yoon.
and today I'm bringing another hopefully exciting video. So what I got for you today is another on our query series where we are going to answer direct questions and make a full-fledged video based on one person's questions so we can get it all fleshed out and try and see if we can answer them completely. This one today, this topic is from a Yoon-Fam club member, and his name is Deathsall777. So we're going to get to his right away, and then we'll talk about that at the end. Deathsall says, where the character story might go, how would you have it differ from the main timeline all the way up to Soul Calibur 4? That'd be interesting for me to listen to and for us to discuss. I agree. I think we talked about this a little bit on the live stream this past week, but this is good to get into now for an entire full video. That's really what I wanted to do last time. That's why it took us so long to get around to that in the live stream. But it's a fairly good topic to jump into. So the story, obviously, we're going to have surrounding the swords and the shepherds, right? Obviously, they're being controlled by this this kind of malevolent force that is within Nightmare himself, or within the evil sword himself. Soul Edge. So we have them going out and collecting these shards right now, and they're waiting until they're through malevolence or absorbing like battle energy or something, kind of like how we see the Babidi saga happen in Majin Buu storyline in Dragon Ball. They're gathering energy so that they can do something with it. I think they want it so that Soul Edge can actually eat the energy, it kind of seems like, since he's the one that's controlling Nightmare partially during the day, because Siegfried is trying to keep him pushed down, which is going to lead towards the story. The plot seems to be pushing that Ishka Acht and the rest of the swords are actually going to be out gathering these solely for Soul Edge, just so he can, I guess, grow in power. Now, you would think at the surface level that what would this power be for? Because it doesn't seem like Soul Edge has like an actual plan for his deeds. He just wants to spread malevolence and stuff like that. So I think that it's mainly because he wants to overpower Siegfried's will. So Siegfried's power is growing because of the anguish of wanting to, turn over his past deeds, and he wants to really not only avenge the people that Nightmare's hurt, and him being Nightmare, but he wants to really atone for his deeds. And I think he thinks this is the only way he can escape his own personal damnation. So he's fighting really hard with the strongest willpower he's had in the series, like, thus far. And he's really trying to push down Nightmare and conceal him so that he doesn't come out. But Nightmare does end up, taking over Siegfried and at times becoming the host, while Siegfried's usually sleeping or something akin to that. And that's when we have the conversations going on between the rest of them. I think Soul Edge might be trying to absorb this power so that he can finally fully take over Siegfried and assume his identity into his collective and just be Nightmare 100%, and Siegfried's soul will just go off into the void where the rest of the Maleficent spirits are born and bred, and the ones that are taking over. So I think that's part of it. Whether or not Soul Calibur is going to try and stop him by possessing somebody else, as we've seen with something akin to Elysium, like I know how she made herself a physical body that resembled Safiti or whatever, and just so she can try and attack Soul Edge directly herself. Whether we're going to see that or see something similar where she pushes the plot forward by trying to envelop or power up, I would say, some of our heroes with like certain Soul Calibur weapons to try and take down the swords. That's yet to be seen too. But I think that we might actually see something more along the lines of that disembodied voice that was in the end of the story for the Soul Chronicle for Huang. We assume that this is Algol. It's pretty safe to assume that it's Algol at this point. Whether Algol is going to come back into the story as his old self and be playable, or whether or not he is going to go a different route and like possess somebody, that's all yet to be seen. We can figure that out a little bit as the time goes on. Irregardless, whatever the complications happen from them finding the swords and shepherds and gathering them to try and take back either these evil shards or try and avert Algol's resurrection or wherever else that's going to come from. I have no clue. I can only speculate as to that. But if you want to know like where I think they ultimately are going to go to, I can't even speak to that, but I can say where I want it to go to. We were talking about in the live stream what they can do beyond Algol, and I thought they could incorporate the ancients from Libra of Souls, because if those of you who haven't played Libra of Souls, I know a lot of you haven't, if you max out a style of a particular weapon, an ancient appears that's of Algol's race that is actually a master of that weapon, fully soul charged, regenerating health, all that good stuff, and you have to take them down, and they're pretty tough. Think of them as something like the Titans from the Mortal Kombat series, but I think if they show up, and they could cause a real big disturbance, and maybe that's what they're trying to prevent in the future. Maybe they're trying to prevent a huge astral fissure that is linked directly to wherever these ancients are, coming into the real world. I think that would be probably the biggest threat they could possibly face, especially if like somehow Soul Edge is able to possess them in some way and give them kind of super strength, kind of like how we see the symbiotes in Marvel do with different characters by amplifying their abilities through their symbiosis and stuff like that. So I think that there's a lot of different ways this could go, and this is just one like speculative like had theory that I have myself. It can literally change at the drop of a dime depending on what new information comes in. But if you wanted to see where I think the story is going, then I think that's the best rendition of what I could say at this point. Hopefully that was sufficient. If there's any more questions, I'd love to follow up in the Discord or in the comment section down below. And once again, thank you, Death777, for the comment. I really appreciate it. And thank you guys for watching and listening. Again, to join the Discord, it is in my description box of every video. And with that being said, we're going to bring this one to a close. And as always, I like it. Thank you.
And thank you.